Hey everyone, it's me, Sunshine Mexico, here with my best friend,
A guy who smokes weed.
and welcome to the Ganja Galaxy, our
Yes.
podcast where we talk.
About just about everything but Ganja and Galaxy.
Eh, Hold on, actually, that'd be spoilers for today's episode. We
It's
won't.
true.
Well, you have the. Actually, hold on. What did you hit? What did you just take a dab of?
That's a good question. I believe this is. Oh, it's Girl Scout cookies. No, this is green crack. It is green crack.
Okay,
We also ordered Girl Scout cookies. I'm very excited for that.
I have not had Girl Scout cookies in a long time. I
They're
don't
out
think they
there.
deliver to space.
They're out there. They're doing their thing right now.
They're doing the thing.
They're scouting
Sucks
the
that.
girls.
Oh no. Oh no. It sucks how the Girl Scouts are very different from the Boy Scouts. Because from what I've heard, the Girl Scouts are like, we sell that's cookies. That's how we do. That's all we do now is just cookies.
No, they do
And
other
that,
stuff.
but that's usually the main thing is the cookies. From what I've heard, it's like they only focus on cookies for the most part. And I'm like, that's kind of
I mean,
disheartening
that's a
right there.
big part of it. Yeah.
Do the Boy Scouts do anything else? As far as I'm aware, no, they don't. They don't have their own cookies things unless they do. And then wow,
No, the Boy Scouts just diddle children.
oh no, oh no. All right, well, you got the first topic here on the list.
I do. We have a whole big old list today.
Small
First
topic,
off,
big list.
really, just I guess let's start off with what we've been playing, which for me has been Atomic Heart and Cluster Truck. I've been playing both of those games on my channel, which is just about all the game I be playing nowadays. But it's been a hell of a lot of fun. I gotta say, Atomic Heart. Actually, no, I'm gonna start with Cluster Truck. Cluster Truck. I mean, plenty of people know what that is already and have played it, and I am a little late to the party. I think 4 years late. But holy shit, is it good! I beat it yesterday, and it took me an hour to beat the final level, but I did.
Feel
Actually, I
that?
beat it like 10 minutes after I texted you I was gonna go beat it. I once I came back refreshed. You sometimes you just gotta walk away.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
took
you
me a
just gotta
week.
walk away.
It took me a week. I walked away for a week from that game. It's like, I'll try it again.
Yeah, it can be a bit rough. It can definitely be a little rough. But we did it. We got there. Once I figured out a little more of the mechanics of that boss. But yeah, didn't expect a 3-stage boss fight for the end level. But oh my
Honestly, same.
god, was it a good game. Just the soundtrack and I'm not like super into like speed running games. I know you were a big Super Meat Boy fan once upon a time.
I mean, way back in the
Played a lot of
day,
that.
I wasn't
But you know,
speedrunning type though.
yeah, but I know, yeah, I also never really did the speedrunning type games, but Cluster Truck has won my heart over, and I'm very happy to have played it. So I would very much recommend that to anybody who has not, especially because it is on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass on the PC, so it's there
I
free
forget
of
that it's
charge.
there. I see it every
Um,
so often on Game Pass. I forget that it's there.
it's good stuff. I know I got my Game Pass back, so I'm playing all these games.
Try it. It's good.
It is good. I mean, Cluster Truck or Game Pass.
I mean,
I mean both, but
we're not sponsored by Microsoft, so fuck you, Game Pass. Cluster Truck, try it. It's good.
And then Atomic Heart came out a couple days ago, and I started playing it pretty much the day it came out. And I see what people have said about the game. It's one of those games like I definitely understand that there are bad things to the game, but overall, I believe it is very much worth playing it. There's a couple things. First off, the writing. The writing is
Oh no.
kind of laughable. It is not very good. At least so far. I'm 6 or 7 hours in the game. Well, the
I thought it was
writing's
more than
like,
enough time.
the writing's really not great, but it has its moments. The main character has a catchphrase that he just
Really?
yells out of
What the?
nowhere, and it's.
Hold on.
Can I spoil
What's the
this for you?
catchphrase? What? I'm not even. I don't think I'm gonna play it. I have to install it
Crispy
on the.
critters.
Okay, that's pretty cringe. I'm a fucking VTuber. That's fucking cringe. I don't have a catchphrase.
Okay, I will say he says it so much to the point where it kind of gets memeable out. It's so bad it's good to a point, you know.
Bro.
But yeah, and then secondly, it just feels like the creators were horny.
I've seen the gifs. I've
So
seen the
no,
gifs.
not the gifts though. The gifts are one thing. Yes, the twins that are all
No, not just
that's
the twins. There's
not the
some like
twins.
there's like a machine that looks like it's giving you the handy.
Oh, okay, so I'm not. Is it
I've seen
red?
that. No, there's like three. I've seen three different variations of the same machine that looks like it's stroking a cock.
Oh yes, okay, that machine. I did run into that
And
machine. I mean,
even that, I'm like,
that
okay.
is just
Besides
like
the
a
twins,
background piston. That's just how you barely like you don't interact with them. They're just there. It's just like their
I
piston
don't. I swear to God, I've
generator.
never seen a piston jack off metal like that
No,
before.
it is
I'm gonna be real
certainly
with
an
you.
interesting animation. No, the biggest I say the biggest thing is and this the biggest thing would be the Nora. Nora is your robot vending machine where you upgrade your
The fridge.
weapons. Yes, the fridge.
I've seen the fridge. I've seen the
And have
fridge.
you heard the fridge?
Also heard of the fridge.
Yeah, so so that's it just feels a little horny by the devs. Like there could be sexual things in games, but it feels they're just overly sexualizing all the female in the game, females, all the women in the game, and to the point where even like there's a line in the game where like a scientist is like, I think she's dead, like she died, and like she's a remarkable scientist. And the one thing the protagonist has to say about her is, "Damn, she was cute."
Bruh.
Like sucks she died. She was pretty. Like that. Like really?
That's
That's all we
yeah,
care about. No, the
that's
writing is
that's rough, buddy.
certainly a little rough. The big thing that it has going for it, and the thing that's carrying the game, honestly, is one, the combat. Combat is actually great. So far, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and it feels, like the first things you're interacting with are just like smaller, robots that kind of just punch and whatever. They can pretty much two hit you. If they hit you like your full health, if they hit you, you're pretty much below half health, and if they hit you again, you're dead. But it's got a very satisfying dodge mechanic. The melee system feels really good and impactful when you hit them, and you see like gashes form exactly where you hit them. Like it feels really good. The gunplay is really good. It's very much. It's honestly, I didn't expect it to be as much. At least on the harder difficulty, it's a little survival horror. It's like Resident Evil-y, where you're going in, you're taking your time, you're ticking up all the ammo you can get. Like I'm, 7 hours in the game, and the most shotgun ammo I've had was like 30. At a time, and it's only four in the magazine at a time. I have very limited pistol ammo. It's very a little more melee focused, at least right now with lower ammo, and crafting and stuff. But it's really really satisfying combat from what I've played. The little couple like mini boss fights I've had were really fun, and the puzzles have been really good. The environments, like the first 6-7 hours of this game are all inside like the first facility, which is underground. I just left that facility for the first time and got into the outside world, like the overworld. And just the environments that were just in that first like 7 hours, just like going through these massive laboratories that were every section was very different from each other, and some of the actual like just visuals, like it looked concept art, like high, just amazing, like it's a beautiful game. Like there's just the level design is amazing. So I'd say
I've seen
gameplay
some
wise
footage.
it is fantastic. Writing, it's pretty laughable. But overall, I'm having a great time. And it's laughable writing, so it's kind of, I'm laughing at it. So it's also giving me some enjoyment in that respect.
Nice.
But we will see how. And obviously there are okay. The thing, the most annoying thing is the FOV, which they have tweeted thankfully that they are adding an FOV slider, and it should be in one of the first patches that are coming out very soon.
Bruh, Total
I
Biscuit
know.
fought for this
The
shit.
fact I
He
know.
fought for this shit.
Absolutely. The fact that it is not in from day one is very sad. And there are some,
Bruh.
just like any game apparently nowadays, it came out with some good glitches that have been plaguing some people. So that's unfortunate. But once again, overall, very good. Check it out. Especially once again, have you a game? I haven't spent $1 on this game because I have Game Pass. So that's how I'm very happily playing it.
Microsoft, I swear to God, sponsor us.
I know we will shill Game Pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
It's good to hear that it's been fun. You know, I've seen all the horny footage from the game, and at least it's fun. You know, I feel like that matters. The biggest thing, a lot of modern games have been having glitches, but I feel like people credit it as like, oh, the devs aren't doing their work. It's very different in terms of like you have maybe 30 people QAing a game, and then millions of people suddenly playing the game. Oh no, that's a lot more eyes on, you know, the fucking routine is different for those millions of people. It's not just a one QA person doing all that stuff. You now have a lot more people doing a lot more shit, and it's just inevitable. Sucks that we still get glitches, but like we got glitches back in the day too, and everyone thought those games were polished.
The only thing I'll say is I do completely agree with that point because you're right. In Atomic Heart's case in particular, a lot of the glitches or the big glitches are glitches that literally every single player is having, including myself. So it's kind of like I don't think they didn't catch them. I just don't think they had time, which is unfortunate.
Another thing, give the devs more time.
Yeah,
just a bit more time. The big thing should be caught right away. It's the smaller things that QA.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, hey, I jumped into a random corner of a rock and I crashed. What the fuck? No, yeah, that's understandable. They didn't think to jump in that random corner of a rock. You know, QA can only do so much, but there are certain things that obviously just shouldn't make it past.
So on to the next topic. I've been playing a small library of games here. I'll start off with the last one. I've restarted playing it because I've never actually beat it. Called Hardspace Shipbreakers. Really cool puzzle game, and I say puzzle game because of basically what you do. You have debt. The story of the game is you have debt. You go work for a corporation up in space, and I was giving shit earlier. You haven't played anything space related. Fuck you. I am actively. So the gameplay is you work as a shipbreaker. The shipbreaker takes ships that aren't being used anymore, and you're dismantling them. You are breaking them down piece by piece and shoving them into a furnace or a processor, and or the barge if it's like a chair. You know, it's a puzzle game. More difficulties are added. Oh, the reactor will blow up if you take too long to put it into the barge, or if you're not careful with the fuel line, you'll cause a fire. If you're not careful with air pressure inside the hull of the ship, you can cause an explosion that way, and you have to watch out for your oxygen, your fuel, and it's just really cool to play. Like, okay, you're the working guy that has to break down a ship and put it in the right things. Also, watch out for, as I said earlier, airlock pressure, because if you fuck that up, you will get hurt. Fuel lines. There's the reactors, and the reactors get progressively bigger. There's coolants you also have to watch out on, because if you fuck up a reactor, it will melt down much faster. And there's also a engine that will split in two, and as soon as you enter, you have to go into the engine, flip a switch so it doesn't blow up. Like, it's these little things that just build up, and it's just a really fun puzzle game. It's all 3D cool. Flying in space environments. So I recommend giving that game a shot. And I've played it a lot on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Mexico. But I've never beaten it, but this time I will. But the story is you work for a company, and slowly you're like, hey, we're being treated like shit. Let's try and sign up for a union. And you kind of see how, in real life, companies that try to sign up for unions start to get union busted. The corporation's like, no. That's just sort of the story it evolves into. But it's, despite that, not a bad story. It's a good game, and also just a good story. I like it. I've been playing modded Minecraft, but that's all I'm going to really share. It's just modded Minecraft with a few mods. A VTuber friend of mine, Ruby OO, not going to say her full name because she gets embarrassed by that, has made a modded Minecraft server for content creators and just trying to connect with more people online that way. Phasmophobia, a new update just came out. which actually kind of spoils the next few updates in terms of like the items you'll get for progression, because they're resetting. Everyone's like level thousands now because since the game released, but they're gonna reset progression to everyone back to zero. Money and level progression and items you have go back to the base items,
Oh
and the
damn.
base items are actually very interesting. Um, so to give an example, there is there's a spirit box. You turn it on, and it's supposedly how it works in the real life. It'll flip through radio channels rapidly, and if a word comes out, that's what the ghost is saying because it's messing with radio waves. You're gonna get a older, lesser version of that to start off with as like level one, so something that's like very cheap and probably won't work as well. Another example is a thermometer, a digital thermometer, but the first one you're going to start off with is one of the old mercury thermometers that you have to look at the line where the line is at, and it has to move up and down. It's like, okay, is that actually freezing temperatures? And you have to pay attention to that fucking red mercury line. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Though my only complaint is I wish that game was a little bit more scary. It's very predictable now. I wish it was a bit more scary.
I mean, I
But
think that's inevitable when you play a game that much.
I mean, it could be more scary. They've added new
Sure.
events since like last time I played it for I'm like October last year. I was playing it a lot, but before then they added more events that I've never noticed. I was like, oh, okay. There are a few moments that still get me here and there when it's truly unexpected, but like when I feel like I know what's going to be happening soon, it doesn't really scare me as much. I just wish it was a bit more scary. That's all I'm asking for, Phasmo devs. Uh, Fallout 76 started a new character, playing that again, and we already talked a lot about Fallout 76 for Bethesda, so I'll just be. It's fun. I've been enjoying it. Um, I had a complaint. I guess I'm just not a big fan of the whole level scaling thing. As like, oh, this weapon you found, you have to get to level 7 to use it. It's like, I just want to use it now. Because in normal Fallouts, if I find a shotgun that's overpowered, I can use it now. Because I was level 3, I found a shotgun. Ooh, I want to use shotgun. By the way, it's level 5. You can't use it until you're level 5. I'm like, fuck. So I'm there for like another 2 hours waiting to get level 5.
I think that's kind of it. Kind of has to happen though in a game like Fallout 76 because since you have such like you have end game content and they like upgrade levels for those end game contents and like the new guns that have to drop from those things have to be more powerful, and I think the easiest way is to just assign a level.
They could. It's just what I was expecting it when I first got it because you first start off the guns you'll find for a little bit is level 1. I was hoping before I'm level 5 I'd find all level 1 versions of that gun, and okay, like after you reach a certain point, those level 1s aren't going to be good anymore. You have to build the level 5 or the level 10. I was hoping that would be the case where it's like, okay, my shotgun's shit now. Now I got to go out of my way to either find the level 10 or build one myself. That's what I was hoping, at least. To just, I can't, at some point, my gun's just worthless. Gotta craft it again, though. Yeah, still a good game. As we said, give it a shot. It's good. Say once,
Especially if you have Game Pass.
if you have Game Pass, not sponsored, but if you have Game Pass. And then the big one on this list really is Assassin's Creed. I started playing Assassin's Creed Origins practically 2 days after we talked about me trying out xCloud. If you remember that.
Find it on Game Pass. I do.
God damn it. Only Assassin's Creed Origins and fuck the one past that. I forget what it's called.
Odyssey.
Yes, Odyssey.
Oh, is
only
Odyssey
those
on
two.
there?
Yes.
Ooh.
Valhalla's not on there, sadly. No Viking yet. So I started playing that on xCloud, and then I was like, I kind of want to play it on PC because occasionally when my parents are all home, the bandwidth it starts lagging a bit. I'll notice a quality drop. I'm like, I can't really play this, and then it'll tell me we've disconnected you because you're having connection issues. I'm like, okay, fuck. Found out that if I want to download it, it's on Uplay. It's through Uplay. It's not through Xbox, so my save won't even be compatible with the Uplay version, which sucks. I won't have my progress. But honestly, I just started playing that. It's like I kind of just want to play the older ones to just build up to this one. And I don't own 1. I own 2 and 3 and I think 4. So I re-downloaded 2 and I've just been playing Assassin's Creed 2. I want to say I'm close to being done with that game. But like Assassin's Creed is fun. I like being able to sneak around. I love the hidden blade. Just like, that guard doesn't know I'm here. Get stabbed in the back. It's just I'm a big fan of stealth games. I don't know if I've said this. I love Dishonored and I
Assassin's
love
Creeds
Deus
have
Ex.
always been a pretty damn good series. I mean, I don't
Specifically the older ones. You get to a certain point where they're like they fell off. Unity fell off immensely. I don't know if you remember the face glitch where the head is gone, but
oh
you still
yeah,
see the eyes and
oh
mouth.
yeah.
Ubisoft fell off. Also, I'd only recommend playing these if you already own them or through Game Pass. Mostly because Ubisoft has been hot waters doing NFT bullshit. And I'm not for NFTs, and I know my buddy here isn't for NFTs. So it's like, don't really buy their games. If you already own them, go for it. They're not going to get any more money. But like, if you're going to play an older one, make sure there's a mod out there that really helps. Because I found a mod that enables 160 FPS. Because I think it was limited, but I don't remember. But it does a lot of like nice things. I remember back when I started playing, every time my Xbox controller would turn off, it would not recognize my controller anymore. So I'd have to close the game, relaunch it back up, and then start from there. Now I can just, if my controller turns off, I can just turn it back on, and it'll just pick it up again through a mod.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
would be
okay,
annoying.
yeah, that's real nice because I'd alt tab, go do something real quick, come back. Ah, shit, controller's off. Let me just turn it back on, and I'm good. I can just get back into it. Story is good. I liking the puzzles in Assassin's Creed 2. They're actually the truth puzzles is what they're called. I don't know if most stealth games usually have like in Dishonored you have Dark Sight where the tint of the world changes color and you get to see where guards are or whatever.
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed has that as well called Eagle Vision. I'm just thinking about it, just kind of funny. And like you'll see like these symbols in the world, and you scan those symbols. You literally just stand in front of it and it scans the symbol, and you'll get like a puzzle that builds into the lore of like the Garden of Eden, the bit of the Templars and stuff like that. Like that's kind of cool. Like I didn't care for this shit back when I first played Assassin's Creed 2 way back when, but like now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool for the time. Like I can really see what they were trying to go for of just having a really deep mystery in the world of Assassin's Creed. I still don't get any of it because I starting with 2, not with 1, so I don't know where it's leading up to. But I think it's just kind of cool to have. Also, I'm a big fan of Ezio to begin with. Ezio Auditore. He's my favorite Assassin's Creed main character because that's literally the only guy I've spent the most time with. But going back to the first Assassin's Creed Origins, I really like Egypt in that setting. Everything looks, despite it being streamed, so it's a lesser quality, everything looks really good still. I can see it. I'm like, this must look really good if it was properly downloaded.
Mm.
And it's just like, it's really cool. Like, I'm in the town of Alexandria, and off in the distance, I get to see the fucking Great Pyramids. I'm like, that shit's pretty fucking cool.
That's dope.
And you can go there, if I remember correctly. You can go there. I'm not there because that's probably way too overpowered for me because Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla are more RPG-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my only gripe, as it is a bit more RPG-ish, because I'll be like, I want to take out that guard. I sneak attack him. He took a quarter health off. He only lost a quarter of his health. I'm like, fuck. I
Oh,
need a
there's
better
not
weapon.
still like I feel like there should still be like I think a stealth kill should still be an instant kill.
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
that's what I was talking about.
That's unfortunate. I didn't know that.
That's really my only gripe with that game though. The other gripe is occasionally I try to do parkour to one thing, but just because I'm holding the left stick in is slightly in one more direction than straight onto where I want to jump to, I'll jump to the left or to the right. I'm like, no, I want to go up. I want to go up, not to the right. And that's my only gripe because I don't hold the controller normally, I guess, to just go straight up but they're fun games. Shut the fuck up. They're fun games. I like even despite the not insta kill assassinations, I'd highly recommend it. Still trying Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla because those games are good, but only if you already bought them. I don't want to spend money on Ubisoft stuff because until they're done with NFTs, I'm good. Also, they're really trying to make a battle royale work.
Yeah,
but that's it. You got the next topic here. I'm done with all my stuff.
I will cling on to any hope that I have because a couple years ago I predicted that. I mean, I don't think this was like a weird prediction, but I predicted that Batua 2, as I knew it to be called because we didn't have a name yet, but Tears of the Kingdom would release with a Switch Pro, Switch 2, Switch whatever you want to call it. I don't know who knows. And we may have I still don't think it was going to come out with Tears of the Kingdom, unfortunately, but we may have some. We have a leak from 4chan.
Yay.
Everybody's
You love
favorite.
the 4chan.
Basically, I'm not going to go into detail. I mean, it's really not a long leak, but basically, they before the release of, and this could really mean nothing, but before the announcement of all of the like DLC and all the information for um the the new Pokemon game came out.
Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, because they introduced a couple new Pokemon and talked about DLC. They went on 4chan and they accurately leaked all of that information. So going back, you can see they were accurate in the leak. The only thing that obviously they didn't mention, or they also mentioned that there is going to be a new Switch model, and that they will be releasing an update for Pokemon to upgrade the fidelity of the graphics and how it runs and performance when that Switch model comes out for that new Switch model. So like if you bought the games, you could go get that, you could download that free patch and play it on your new Switch, I guess. And that the new Switch would be released sometime in 2023. Really don't know how much credence that actually has. It could easily be someone who just like maybe works in like they could be working in an department that has nothing to do. They could actually have leaked these things properly and just been someone that was in the know a couple days early. So really it doesn't mean much, but I'm hopeful. I want my prediction to come true. I want to play Tears of the Kingdom on my brand new Switch Pro.
And that'd be nice.
It'd be great.
I mean, a Switch 2, Switch Pro would be great because just the better hardware would just be great. Games would be able to run better. Because that's a long-time favorite YouTuber, I don't know if you remember him, Peanut Butter Gamer, tweeted out like, yeah, like 30 FPS is fine, but make it stable. At least a stable 30 would be fine. Most games these days for the Switch tend to be like, yeah, we can hit 30, but you will get the occasional 15.
Yeah, it's like Batua looked great. It looked amazing. But yeah, there were definitely times where I was going through a certain place and you could just tell it was slugging around at like 15 FPS.
The Lost Woods in front of the Great Deku Tree. God, that shit's awful.
Yeah, it had some real rough spots. And then, I remember emulating it at a time on the PC and playing it at 60 FPS was amazing.
I might want to give that a shot, to be honest.
It was fantastic. It felt so good.
Yeah, just a stable. If they can get if they release the Switch Pro, which I don't think they do, and I'll talk about this in a sec. But if they do release the Switch Pro, updating the games to be able to support either a stable 30 or up it to 60 would be fantastic. I would probably wouldn't buy the Switch Pro right away, but I feel like it'd be worth it for people that are like, oh shit, just upgraded FPS and just graphics. That'd be awesome. But the reason why I don't believe the Switch Pro is going to come out anytime soon is that we've been hearing leaks of a Switch Pro for the past 4 years now, and none of them have come true. People are like, it's going to announce at this time, nothing. It's going to announce at this time, nothing. The leak, nothing. I would love for Nintendo to at least say something, but it's Nintendo. They won't say shit. We just got like a random, here's the Metroid Prime 1 just dropped on us for $40 out of nowhere. So it's like, I don't believe it's going to happen soon. I can see it maybe next year, if anything, because the Switch has been going on for a while.
Yeah, because I would say, the more we go on, the more likely it is, since they have to eventually announce something, whether it's a Switch 2.
4 years ago?
Or
4 years ago,
or it's another console altogether. I can't imagine they're done with the Switch. I can't imagine. I think they got a home run. I think they nailed. Like, where do you go? Like, why would you make it? Obviously, you could say that about. Actually, I don't know if you could say that about any of the others. Like the Wii was great. The Wii U was great. I just feel like the Switch, though. I feel like it's on a whole other level.
It's a
like, I feel like they've really cornered a market, and I think they're gonna stick to it for a while. Like, I think the Switch is gonna be like the DS, where it's really gonna hang on for like a decade. And so that's why
Yeah.
I believe there will be a Switch Pro, Switch 2, a Switch something, because I just don't. There's no way it wouldn't sell so well. I'm sure people, because most people would just be like, okay, well, now I'm finally picking up a Switch. Or they're going to just say, okay, now it's time for the next Switch, just like you get your PS4, your PS5, your PS6. I think it just makes sense. And, eventually they're going to get to the point where just like any console generation, it's just going to be too old to run like the newer games. It's going to end up being annoying.
Yeah. And I said I was going to save this for the podcast. Go
One
on.
last point. I realize also Activision Blizzard just signed a deal with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to the Switch. So even more reason to up the performance and get us a Switch 2 to play your Call of Duty on at better FPS and graphics.
Okay, so we'll talk about the Call of Duty on the Switch in a second. But the reason why I can believe it, obviously, we mentioned the more years the Switch is out, the more likelihood of a Switch 2 or Switch Pro coming out because the hardware is going to be lacking, and it's already lacking now. To be real, to be quite real with you, Pokemon Arceus and Scarlet and Violet look kind of rough.
Although that feels more about optimization, and because once again we know the Switch can make Batua level like
What game is it? It runs Arc.
Yeah. But I haven't played Arc. I don't know how well it runs.
It runs Arc.
I'm just like people have like even just Arceus. Like they have made Pokemon games that look and play better.
I mean, yeah, the DS games look better than the modern one. Sword and Shield look better than Scarlet and Violet and Arceus combined. And that's just a fact. I'm sorry. I don't like Sword and Shield. I kind of got fed up with the whole linear. I'm not joking. Sword and Shield is, I feel like, very, very linear. If you also look at the fucking map, it's up and down. It's just, you start from the bottom, just up and you go straight fucking up. I'm like, that's really boring world design. The fuck is that? But the only reason why I can kind of believe leaks from 4chan, and I will specify 4chan specifically when it comes to leaks, is back a few years ago. And if you are a space gamer like myself, Elite Dangerous Odyssey was leaked on 4chan. But it was not just that. It was the games from Frontiers, which is the development studio for Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, and I think the Jurassic Park fucking management game or whatever, I think. All that shit was leaked. Just like, they're going to announce a new zoo game, and then here's Elite Dangerous Odyssey, Space Legs, FPS mode, and everything in that list was true. And I was like, oh, fuck. This person knew what they were talking about. So I don't believe all of them, especially Switch Pro. I believe it less just because, obviously years without one, but constant leaks, years without one still. But there's probably a grain of truth in there. We might get an update that ups the fidelity of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but probably not the Switch Pro. I can believe that. But, I don't know. Most Nintendo leaks, specifically Nintendo, I have a really hard time believing. People are like, the new Pokemon emulator for the Nintendo Switch. No, we didn't get that.
I realize we do have one more quick leak to talk about. Have you heard of the Tears of the Kingdom leak? Or I guess leak, the art book.
Yes, I've seen a few of those.
Oh my god.
I don't remember much of it. I saw a little bit of it, and it's gone. It's out of my mind palace now.
I mean, I really don't care to. I will say I don't know that I want to spoil things for people. Just know if you do check it out, if you care to check it out, it's like literally the entire thing, like 200 pages got posted.
Oh fuck.
It's only made me more hyped for the game, and I can't say I know anything additional. Like, there's really no spoiler stories. There's really no, there's really no. Spoilers. There's really no spoilers at all. There's just like
art.
Yeah, like you're gonna see some new enemies that weren't announced. You're gonna see some new weapons and some characters, but you really have no context to any of it. So it really doesn't mean anything. But I will say it just made me even more hyped, more excited. That people were like, "Oh, it's Batua expansion." It's just definitely not gonna be that. There's so much new shit. There's so many new cool things, and it's only made the speculation more exciting. It's a good time to be a Zelda fan.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
A topic of Tears of the Kingdom.
Hmm.
Tears of the Kingdom. There is a in the trailer for it. Off to the side on a bridge, off to the side, you'll see a three-headed dragon. I don't know if I
Hmm.
mentioned this to you. I feel like I might have already talked about this. But that dragon is a reference to the first, I believe, the first boss fight in the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's a lot of returning enemies from
So
other
it's like,
Zelda
oh fuck,
games. There's like
that's
likes in
just
this game, if you know what that is.
like.
They are the little.
I have to look them up.
They're in the 2D Zelda games. I don't know that they're in a 3D Zelda game. But they're just like these little things. They eat your shield in Link's Awakening. Um, and
Oh,
there's also Redeads that were shown in the most recent trailer, which is Redead
Redeads?
scared
Oh
the shit
fuck,
out of me
yeah. Oh
when I
fuck.
was
Oh shit.
younger playing
Okay.
Ocarina of Time. So I am, yeah, we'll see. There's lots of return, and I mean, Batawa did that in the first place. Batawa took a lot of 2D enemies that were never shown in a 3D
Lionel.
game. Yeah, like Lionel's, and I think Hinox's, and did them for the first time. So it's exciting to see like the likes and other things that will be returning. Uh, it's exciting. There's just so much good speculation. And it's funny because we're 2.5. I think we're less than 2.5 months away from release, and we still have not seen like. When I say gameplay, I mean like authentic, like a here's 10 minutes of the gameplay.
Right.
We've seen in-game footage without a HUD kind of gameplay. Um, Definitely in the trailer, but we have not just seen gameplay, so we have no idea what the HUD's gonna look like. We have no idea if there's like an inventory system. We don't have any idea if there's durability again. Like there's still so many unanswered questions. I'm so excited. We don't know if there's
Yeah.
dungeons.
Ooh, if return to a normal dungeon format would be fucking dope.
Yeah, so one of the things that people are pretty sure we're gonna get back to dungeons, because if not, okay, one thing that we've kind of figured out from art and leaks, or not leaks, but the art book and other thing is that seems that we are gonna be collecting like some major stone type things, and like people
Ooh.
are assuming there's 8 of them, that they're probably gonna be 8 dungeons you go to kind of thing. So there's definitely, I think where there's evidence leaning in there's going to be traditional dungeons, which I mean is one of the bigger complaints a lot of people, including myself, have about Batawa, and that
Hmm.
is I did all 120 shrines. I
I
got
think
my
I almost did
tunic.
that.
That game. I got my motorcycle. I'm ready.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've definitely got my motorcycle. Yeah, I'm honestly we're both just big. The topic should have been fucking Legend of Zelda, but we have to wait. We have to have a guest on for that one apparently. Um, but I'm really excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Just my main concern is it gonna actually feel like not just here's an expansion, or is it gonna feel like a proper sequel? But from what we've seen, I feel like it probably would feel like a proper sequel. There's a lot different already. The world's gonna be pretty different, and also if I remember correctly, the creators of the world for Tears of the Kingdom is the same people that have worked on Xenoblade. And I've seen what the fucking Xenoblade world looks like because I played a bit of the first one. I'm like, that looks
Hmm.
fucking pretty good. So I'm excited, and hopefully the world design's actually fucking fantastic. Um, but it's a Nintendo product. It's gonna be most likely good. Unless you're a sports Nintendo game, then you're fucked. I feel so bad for every Nintendo sports game fan. Awful. Also, I like how we got to Breath of the Wild from a 4chan Pokemon Nintendo Switch Pro
I
leak.
mean, we were in Nintendo leaks, so
I guess we'll just skip with the topic I had right next and go into Pokemon Day, the Nintendo Direct, but for Pokemon from the Pokemon Company. We talked. They talked.
Pokemon Sleep. Yes, I heard about this.
We'll get there. They talked about the card game tournament. They talked about just a Pokemon Unite tournament, which Unite's pretty fun. I'd say give it a shot. If you're not into MOBAs, don't even bother. Um, and they talked about Pokemon Sleep, which was announced a while back. Turns out it was it was canceled or whatever, and then it came back, and it's back, and it's gamifying sleep. Sleep, you get a Pokemon and a Pokemon Sleep position. I think this is really fucking goofy. Not really needed in my opinion, but fuck it, I'll give it a shot. Who gives a shit? It's just I open up the app, it tracks my sleep. It's just that there's a video I saw recently, and where it talks about like keeping track of your sleep and putting it into points makes your sleep worse because you're now trying to get better at it and you're stressing out about it more. I was like, that makes a lot of fucking sense. So I'll track my sleep occasionally, but I'm trying my best not to gamify sleep and to be like, how do I get 100 points? Because I don't want to stress about that because that will just make it worse. But I think Pokemon Sleep has some staying power in there. It's like, oh, you could have a fucking Pikachu, and I got the sleeping position. That that's kind of adorable. That it seems kind of fun. I won't even care about the points at that point. And apparently, I might have misheard this, but it might link with Pokemon Home. You might be able to transfer Pokemon over. I don't think so. I think I'm misinterpreting two different products, but I mean, cool, I guess. But also the the new Pokeball thing they have for Pokemon Go. Press a button, it'll toss up a Pokemon, it'll vibrate or whatever. I thought that was cool. The original one that came out when Pokemon Go first came out. But you can throw like Great Balls, Ultra Balls, and other Pokeballs as well with that new thing instead of just normal Pokeballs. Also useful for the Pokemon Sleep app. So it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, a bit more functionality. But it's like, it's still just a fucking piece of plastic with a button. It charges by USB-C, by the way. You see it in the screenshot they share. And then the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, which I already forget their names, but they actually look pretty interesting. The first one that's going to come out is more... think of the vibe of Arceus. It looks a bit more just older Japanese style. I forget the actual word for it. But the older Japanese style, like structures and stuff like that. Like it looks like you're also at like a festival. I'm like, it looks kind of cool. I'm vibing with that. I only dislike that we still can't change out of the school uniforms. I get it because it's for story wearing a school uniform. I just wish we didn't because the creativity on how to design your character really isn't there. It's hair and then your backpack. Boring. Boo. I'm snoring. But they still look good. As far as I'm aware, with Sword and Shield, the DLCs for those actually look pretty good. Even though I haven't played them, I haven't beaten Sword and Shield. Fuck that game. National Dex, baby, give that shit back to me. I mean, I'm excited because the story for Scarlet and Violet's actually really fucking good. There's like 3 stories. One of them is way better than the others, but all the stories are pretty good. Like this is the first time in my fucking life I'd recommend playing a Pokemon game for the story. Like as far as more of the Arceus story is interesting, but I wouldn't consider that a mainline game. Like I would consider it somewhat of a spin-off.
I mean, it technically is. This is Pokemon Legends.
Yeah, but some people would say it's a mainline, even though I personally don't. So, but like, yeah, other than Black and White, because I know the stories in those are good from what I've seen, and people talking about like, oh yeah, here are all the good things from that story. This is the first time I'd say play Scarlet and Violet if just for the fucking story, for all 3 stories that exist in that game. Also, the game is just kind of fun. Open world Pokemon like Arceus, but actually big open world. It's not like you go back and you load into another zone.
Oh yeah,
I think that's just really nice. So honestly, this where we're at with Scarlet and Violet, I wonder where the next game is going to take us in the sense of like, what are the new features? Because if they go back and it's like, by the way, we're linear again, people aren't going to like that. Because as much as I gave Scarlet and Violet so much shit because of its optimization and how it ran and all the bugs for its release, it was the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game since fucking Soul Silver. And that was in middle school.
People are loving that game. It is definitely a commercial success. It is definitely, I mean, besides, yeah, exactly. Like, besides bugs and stuff, like, people are saying it's like one of the best Pokemon games of all time. And I don't doubt that. I'm excited to play it.
But yeah, I'm excited for the DLC. I still need to beat the main story because I've done 2 of the 3. But I'm excited for the DLC even now. I might just stream the end of the story myself. Though probably not though. I was enjoying that game more as just playing it offline. Uh, yeah, that's it for that topic. So we're gonna go back to the topic before that though, because it's not relevant, and we're moving on. Um, Dark Swarm is a game developed by the devs of Deep Rock Galactic, or I'm pretty sure it's published or developed by the same devs. I forget which one it was, but it was shown off on the 5-year anniversary for the Deep Rock Galactic game. Which, damn, 5 years of that game being out, great game, highly recommend it. Dark Swarm. Do you remember the game Alien Swarm?
I do.
It's like that, but in their own
Oh.
unique world, sort of thing. It's not. It doesn't. No ties to Alien Swarm, but it
Yeah.
it actually looks really good. It looks kind of it's pre-alpha sort of footage, but just for what it has, it actually looks pretty good. I have no clue if it takes place in the Deep Rock like story
Mm-hmm.
universe, but just getting another game like Alien Swarm is pretty good. It's a 1 to 4 player co-op game. They'll have classes obviously just like Alien Swarm, and it looks pretty good. It just it's just a small little topic, but it looks like a fun game for when that releases. Would be worth it. They announced 2 other games, one similar to Vampire Survivors. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I think.
It's like you automatically kill enemies, you level up, you get an ability that helps you kill more enemies, you upgrade those abilities, more enemies show up. It's just an AFK thing.
Ah.
Um, Vampire Survivors is a bit more interactive because you can actually walk around the world or whatever. Some of them are just like you just kind of stand there and it happens. Um, they're releasing one called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, but it's 1 to 4 players, I believe, and you'll have missions while also having the auto AFK abilities that are going off at the same time. I think you can also shoot. There's footage on their stream, and they also announced a card game. I don't think you've played this, but Slay the Spire. Yeah, neither have I. I've seen some footage. I have. It's a card game where you're fighting against enemy AI essentially, and it looks okay. Not my cup of tea, but I mean anything from the Deep Rock devs or from just the Deep Rock publishing to begin with, because they made Deep Rock Galactic. That's a fucking great game.
Very good
No
game.
FOMO battle pass. Everything's free. Fantastic. Except the some skins, but besides that, everything else is fucking free.
Yeah,
That's
regardless.
fantastic. So
Alien Swarm was fun, so that's exciting. I liked that kind of game. That game was good. So I
yeah,
think an Alien Swarm from the developers of Deep Rock Galactic sounds very exciting.
I mean, I'm excited for any new game, to be honest, especially one in the same vein as Alien Swarm, because you don't really get those
No.
anymore, really. So I'm fucking down. Except if you consider like Diablo, but I consider that shit very different. I would consider
Yeah.
Diablo and Alien Swarm very different things.
I mean, they're
Yes,
only the same in the camera, basically.
camera aspect. Um, but other than that, the next topic on the list is Microsoft has promised if they own Activision, Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard King, they promised 10 years of Call of Duty to every single platform, including the Nintendo Switch.
They did.
And we
They signed a deal.
and even Valve agreed to this, as far as I'm aware. They're like, yeah, fuck it. Which, cool, I guess. I don't know how this is gonna hold up in terms of like, are we actually gonna get every single Call of Duty from here on out to be on the Switch? They're gonna have to make another Switch for that, or a really low res Call of Duty or cloud versions of those games. But they said, as far as I'm aware, from what I remember seeing and hearing, is that they want the same level of gameplay quality
Yeah, they said
on
the
the Switch
full
itself.
version of Call of Duty to be
On the
on.
Switch.
Like, you're gonna go play Warzone, you're gonna go play zombies, you're gonna go play everything.
So it's like they can't just release a cloud version of the game. Also, I hate fucking cloud versions of games on Nintendo Switch. Don't do that shit. Just don't release it on the Switch. I don't want to spend $60 to play on a game that the servers could shut down and I don't have access to it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
That's stupid. Fuck you, Capcom, for doing that to Resident Evil 7, I believe. I think they did it for Resident Evil 7. I swear to God, Capcom did it to a game, and I think that's dumb. It's really stupid. But like that, I mean, 10 years of Call of Duty on all platforms. Cool, I guess. We kind of already had that on PC because it came out on PC anyways. But like, to promise Valve that, yeah, we'll release it on Steam no matter what for 10 years, I think that's kind of cool. My only concern, I feel like this is everyone's concern over the acquisition deal, is after this 10 years. Is that it?
Yeah.
I think it should just be open ended in the sense of like, okay, we'll continue delivering Call of Duty to all platforms until the end of time, sort of thing. I think that's the only way I feel like Sony would be fine with the buyout. Because Sony, no, they don't want that. I'm okay with it personally, because that means we get fucking Blizzard under new management, and I would love that for Blizzard.
I know, right? That's the big thing for us.
But like, I mean, I get where the concerns come from. They don't want Microsoft to be a powerhouse in the gaming sphere, even though they won't be that big. They won't be that much bigger than the rest of the other studios or conglomerates that are out there. So it's like, eh. But I mean, if Call of Duty comes out for the Switch, full power, everything on the base Switch, I'd be very impressed. I'm surprised No Man's Sky is on the Switch without multiplayer, but it's still on the fucking Switch, and apparently it runs really well. So, yeah, who's to know what the fuck Activision's gonna do with that shit and what happens with the merger deal? I think it'd be kind of neat. Again, mostly for on Blizzard's part. I just want Blizzard to be in a better spot than they are now.
Agreed.
Also, I just want my WoW subscription to be tied to my Game Pass subscription.
Super agreed.
$15 for Game Pass, every game, and then World of Warcraft.
So good.
I mean, I never have to pay for just World of Warcraft on its own ever again.
Yeah. This is actually, I didn't write the other thing on. So we have a Star Wars Dark Forces 2 remake, which is a game I have not played, but now I just recently played the Jedi Knight Academy and oh god, what's the other one? The two different Jedi Knight games, and they were absolutely amazing. And the prequel, or not prequel, but the games before those games were the Dark Forces games, which I have not played, but I know that they're very beloved. And there's somebody on YouTube. They are named Rupertle, Ruppertle. You can also just look up Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 remake. It's in the Unreal Engine, and they have the first 2 levels playable. And it looks great. It's awesome. It's very exciting. I think they actually, they put in a lot of the base work of the game already done. Like they've made the stormtrooper. They've done a lot of like the base work to make those first 2 levels. So now it's a matter of more of just making the other levels. Like they've got the combat, they've got force power. Like they've gotten all those things going. So now they can make the other levels quicker. And I mean, check it out. You can download and play the first 2 levels for free. You just have to join their Discord, and then in the Discord, there's the links. And then I don't know if anybody's aware of this. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people aware of this. The most recent trailer got 500,000 views, but there's a guy named Reubs out there making a Simpsons hit and run remake.
Oh fuck!
And they're almost done making the entire game. It looks amazing.
I just look at that footage for the Dark Forces. That is really good looking. Going from the OG to the new looks really fucking good.
Oh yeah, because that game's even older than the other games I've been playing, and yeah, so they're and I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing the older games with the older, but it's exciting to see remakes happen, especially as these developer tools get easier and more friendly to use, and people people make entire games like we've seen with Black Mesa and now Dark Forces 2 and The Hit and Run remake looks really good too, and I that game is a game I beat when I was a kid. I loved that game. So that's a very exciting game to be able to play.
I only have one complaint about the Unreal Engine, but like I, I might rant about that later. Uh, or unless you are okay with me just like jumping in, like let me talk about the fucking Unreal Engine.
Sure, I mean that's it.
Okay, so way back when, a bit after the release of No Man's Sky, I was a fan despite all the broken promises of that game. I just had a lot of fun with that game. Sean Murray was at the GDC Game Developers Conference talking about procedural generation and a bit of their game engine and just kind of the workings on procedural tech for their game and game engines and a few other things besides that. And I was like, wow, that's really actually interesting to find out of the some of the unique quirks for their game engine and the fact that the No Man's Sky engine is built ground up just by him, essentially, and that as the project kept going up, more people, but mostly by him. And I was like, that's really interesting and actually just kind of cool. In a weird way, it's its own art form, and that it kind of sucks to kind of see that be not destroyed. That's a very harsh word, but just kind of being left behind to just Unreal Engine being the quick and easy thing to learn. But I understand because Unreal is a very easy engine to understand and to learn. You can do so much with it. It just kind of sucks. A lot of the modern games they're moving over. Cyberpunk had the Red Engine. They're not using that anymore. They're switching to Unreal for the sequel.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite supposedly is going to be remade for Unreal 5. If not, the next Halo game will be Unreal 5. And just a lot of other games are like Unreal 5. I'm like, I want people to kind of make their own engines. I feel like it'd be really cool to just have people like make their own engines. Also, sucks with the fact that these companies that make their own engines aren't given the time, money, manpower to continue working on those engines to make them better. That's basically the big issue with Bungie and Destiny. Their engine for Destiny 1 was rough. Took ages to do anything on that. The tools weren't there. So Destiny 2, better engine. Apparently they're able to make a lot more stuff with it considering that they're still on it after so long. And same with Halo Infinite. It's a very difficult engine to work with. Same with Frostbite, as we're hearing that the Frostbite engine is a very difficult engine to work with, and EA won't fucking let go, and they should. But it just kind of sucks to see that we are losing engines out on just like these companies just not wanting to put a bit more money into making sure an engine can be as good for their game. But like, that's
It'd
just
be a sad
a very
day
niche
if
thing.
we ever
It's a
see
niche thing.
Bethesda switch to Unreal. That'd be the big one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I don't know how to feel about that because the fact they're like, we're using the Gamebryo. Now it's a creation engine. Now we're on basically the creation engine too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping all goes well because they have not gone off that fucking engine.
Yeah, I will say. I mean, they've put a lot of money into their creation engine, and they've. I don't see them switching off.
No, neither do I.
I couldn't see that happening at least anytime soon. Not that like I mean I will say the Unreal Engine could still give us a lot of modding capabilities. So I'm not too afraid if they switch to Unreal, but it's still just like it's Bethesda. Like they've always been on their own engine, and it's such a unique. It just feels Bethesda. I don't know. Like I need my Creation Club engine or my
Yeah.
Creation engine.
I think ultimately it's just gonna suck when competition dies and Unreal's the main thing used. It's like we need more things that can compete with Unreal. Unity exists, but you don't see much besides like the few handful of really good games. Like The Forest is the only one that comes to mind. That's a really good game on Unity, but I feel like you don't see much big for Unity anymore. So if we get more open source engines that people can work on, that'd be great. Something to compete with Unreal, so they're not the only staying power in the engine market. Very niche thing, which is really interesting to talk about. But I feel like that'd just be good for that sort of market. Or just game developers like, yeah, we're gonna make a game. We'll make our own engine. We don't want to pay for Unreal. Might take longer for the game to come out, but we'll make our own. I think it's just a really niche and unique art form. That, yeah, niche topic aside, I have a fascination towards like the fact that Call of Duty has been on the same sort of game engine for a long time. Apparently, even the new ones still use a really heavily modified of the old engine they used to use for COD 2 or COD 1. And the fact that Titanfall 2 or Titanfall 1 and 2 use a heavily modified version of the Source engine. Same with Apex, the Source engine. That's wild to me. And also just kind of cool that's like, that happens.
Do you think we'd ever get to a point? I mean, this isn't actually really a question. We will get to this point.
Go on.
The question is, will we ever see it in our lifetime? Do you think we'll get to a point where we can? Could you imagine you just like submit a game to an AI or an Unreal AI or something, and it rebuilds that entire game?
I can believe that.
Oh, very much. I think, like I said, it's a matter of when, not if. There's no way that's not going to happen at some point. I just can't, like, that'd be kind of really cool.
Just like I have an idea for a game, I'll write out the entire description up to like a really good description, because AI images require really descriptive words, so you need to be really descriptive with your game. And I believe an AI could do it. Not now, because ChatGPT has the issues with some people. Like, hey, code something for this, and it comes back with a few issues here and there. But I believe we can get there, not soon, relatively soon though. Maybe in the next 10, 15 years.
Maybe within our lifetime. I truly do believe that.
Might be rough around the edges, but AI will slowly just kind of.
But like, it'd be kind of cool. But like, hey, like nobody ever is gonna remake this game because it's too niche and nobody cares or whatever. But like, it'd be cool to just like submit it into a thing and it pops me out a new version of that with like updated graphics
GPT.
or something. It's gonna happen. There's no
Game GPT.
way.
Can you remake Empire: Dawn of the Modern World but with 4K resolutions, 165 FPS, 4K, 2K, new ass?
Can you just make me new RAM?
Just download RAM. Code more RAM.
There you go.
That's how we're gonna fix that one thing. I forget what his name. The CEO of Nvidia said like Moore's law. Is it Moore's law? I don't know. But like a law is like a physics law is dead or whatever. We can't continue improving on stuff. I'm like, okay, motherfucker, optimize your hardware. I'm gonna mute that. Because I think it's just a computer question. Because I was getting a phone call. Other than that, yeah. The next point we have here is Square Enix's studio. I think it's called Luminous Studio. I had the article pulled up. Let me pull it up real quick. But that studio is being folded and merged back into Square Enix. And it's kind of sad. Because that studio, fun fact, only has one game under the belt. Which was Forspoken. Came out literally last month or 2 months ago now.
Oh, yeah, and that didn't come out to good acclaim.
Yeah, people were saying the writing is kind of, it's like Marvel-esque, like current Marvel-esque writing where it's kind of okay but not amazing. A lot of like meme quips that aren't that good. Which I was like, whatever. And people were saying even the combat's kind of okay, but I haven't bought in the game. I don't buy a lot of AAA games anymore. Battlefield 2042 does that to a man. But like, it looks good. It's just apparently the hardware for PC was a big thing as well, because it requires pretty good hardware to run at 30 FPS.
Oh.
Which is, or 60. It's like, that's kind of rough, buddy. Come on.
There's lots of cute cats
in Forspoken.
I've
not seen that.
Look it up. They're very cute.
I mean,
there's some of them are floating around. They don't know what to do. It's very.
I mean, I bet. That's sort of it. That sucks. Apparently, the studio, when they were back with Square Enix before they became Luminous Productions, also worked on one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Do you know which one that is?
The 15.
Yes, the boy band, the emo boy band on a road trip. They worked on that one back when they were in Square Enix game studios. They made their own game studio. The game did okay, and now they're going back to Square Enix, and that kind of sucks because it's Final Fantasy 15 had rough production. There was so much planned for it, but it's like we're done. We're done with 15. We're moving on to 16. So it just kind of sucks that the same thing's happening with the same group that developed 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, if they were just actually given a chance, that'd be great. Their next game probably could have been a banger if they're like, okay, we learned a lesson from Forspoken. But that's kind of like it on that one. It's time for weed news
And
slash
space
one space
news.
news
And
and
space
slash.
news. We have two. I don't know why.
I mean, you have that one fact.
Oh,
Uh
I see. Oh, I actually got rid of that fact.
oh. Okay, then we'll edit the list. We have weed news.
And we do have we. Well, you have space news as well.
I mean, yeah, it's just two small things. Who
All
wants to
right.
go first here?
I'll
I'm
go
assuming
first.
you, right? All right, go for it.
Yeah, so we are named the Ganja Galaxy podcast, so I figured it was only suiting that we actually talk about uh, some weed and space news. So here we are with our first weed story of the podcast.
The first
It's
one.
one it's close to home. In Washington, they are trying to introduce a few bills that I am not a fan of. So here we are talking about them.
I'm assuming anti-weed bills.
Somewhat of the sort. So first off, they're trying to introduce a bill that will. Oh, actually, no. There's one bill I am a fan of. We'll talk about that first. Let's talk about the good news first. We're trying to introduce a bill that, and it's pretty much gone through the most of the stages. So it's well on its way to getting passed. That will prohibit employers from not hiring you if you smoke marijuana.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's a law that's I think passed at least in California, if not a few other states, and I think it's only a good thing because the fact
I
that you
mean,
can just, I mean, like it's just like anything, just like being, people drink and go to the work. I mean, like not right before work, but you know what I mean. Like you can just be an alcoholic and go
and
to your
still work.
job,
Yeah.
as long as you're not doing it on the job. That's the only thing that matters, and that's the only thing that should matter. And so this law will keep them from doing that. So that's a very good thing. The second and third thing that I am not a fan of, we've got. Oh God, where is it? Did I
He
not
lost
hit
the news. He lost. Where did you put the weed? He
Oh
lost the weed,
yes,
guys. Oh,
they're trying to introduce law that will, or a bill, whatever it's called. I know we're so good. We're so uh, judicial.
you watch this podcast while you're high. It will make a lot more sense.
um, they want to raise the taxes, which it's not
What,
very.
taxes for weed?
Yes, so it's currently about a 37%, I think. Yeah, 30%, 7% tax on cannabis products. The first bill would raise that to as much as 65% on products with at least 60% THC potency, which is not everything for sure. Like if you just buy Kush or anything Kush related, so pre rolls, joints, blunts, those kind of things. That obviously that there's a limit to how potent it can be because of it's just the plant. But things like dabs, which I'm a big fan of, and vape pens, like THC pens, they're often in the 70-80%, usually at least above 60% THC percent. So, and it would limit the sale to anybody 25 and under on those products. So if you wanted to
Really?
go buy dabs or vapes, you could not do that if you were 25 or under.
Land of the free, huh?
Or I mean under, I think it's under 25, so maybe 24 and under. But yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Not good.
It just like they talk about, dependencies and stuff like that. Like it's less of like a harmful, like they're not talking about it harming anything but besides just getting addicted, which is very much, obviously there are people that will find a dependency on anything. Like it's not a chemically addictive drug. But it, just like anything, you can just become habitually addicted to things. And so I get, they're trying to get young people not to do smoke as much, but I just don't think it's, you can go, once again, it's related to alcohol. I think it's super stupid. I could go buy, crazy percentage of alcohol, no problem, go drink myself to death. Because you know what? If you go and you smoke this entire gram of dab, you could green out, or green out is what people call it. You could be really paranoid, but you're not gonna die.
No, like
No one's
I've
ever
seen,
overdosed on weed. It just doesn't happen. It's not.
it just doesn't.
It's not a thing. Whereas you can go drink yourself to death pretty easily. So I just don't agree that we should have. It's just stupid. I feel like they're just trying to regulate it too much, and I'm not a fan of it. Uh, and secondly, they're also just trying to introduce a bill that would prohibit selling cannabis at all. Um,
Oh, again.
above
Oh, cool.
above wait above 35% THC. So basically, all pens and dabs, like concentrates or edibles, for that matter, would mostly be banned unless you have a medical card. Which, once again,
That's
not a terribly hard thing to get if you're if you really care
hey
to.
doc, I'm anxious.
Exactly, but still, it just seems like unnecessary regulation. I don't think it's. Once again, if there were actually a problem, if there's a bunch of people dying because they were overdosing or whatever, I think it'd have some credence, but it just doesn't make sense currently.
No,
Um,
it doesn't.
but I may have some bias. I don't know.
I
I mean, I
mean,
definitely have some bias.
you have
But
bias. I have less of a bias than you, but I can agree that those last two you mentioned are kind of dumb. Raising the taxes, I feel like doesn't make any sort of sense. Controlling, like, oh, we don't want people smoking too much, is kind of dumb as well. It's like, as you said, you can just I can just go out and buy a fuck ton of alcohol and drink myself to death. That's a very easy thing to do. With weed, it's a whole different story. Like, you need a lot of fucking weed to die from weed. Like, a lot of weed. And that's just kind of dumb. And also, limiting the amount of the percentage of what, THC?
mhm.
At 230, like 235, anything past that, you can't get unless you have a medical. It's just kind of dumb. I'm like, again, it goes back to the last argument we made. You can buy really strong alcohol. I can't buy really strong weed. That's not gonna kill me. I'm sorry. It's just the fact. It's not gonna kill me. Even though I'm a black hole, it still won't fucking kill me. I just think that's dumb. The other
Yeah.
thing, what was that first thing you mentioned?
Oh, the
Uh,
cannabis for job seekers. Not
yes,
being.
that
No, that's great.
that's fantastic because yeah, who gives a shit what I do at my own place? If I'm doing my work well, fuck
Shouldn't
it. Let me
matter.
work. Let me work. Let me fucking work. If I'm high at home but not at the job, let me fucking work. It just makes the most sense. Um, yeah, the last two balls, they suck balls. Get them out of here. Land of the free, my ass. That's not being free. USA. uh, but yeah, I mean, good news on the first one. Next time you should probably end off with the good news because I would be like, yeah, I'm in a much better mood now. But now I'm annoyed that they're trying to take away my weed.
Well, you have the good news, maybe with space.
I mean,
I don't know. Is it
I
good
mean,
news? Is it just news? Is it bad
it's
news?
just news. It's just two things. Pretty short. I'll start off with I feel like the more interesting one. Astronomers find a star that survived going supernova after colliding with another star.
Mm.
Um, the lead author of the study said, I've worked on supernova remnants for 30 years and I've never seen anything like this. So, the likelihood of anything hitting anything in space, it's happened, but it's really, really low. Like, we can't imagine how low of that happening, but the fact that it did, wild. The fact that a star didn't go supernova because it hit because a star hit it is also really fucking interesting in the terms of like what the fuck does that mean? And I think that's just kind of cool. And honestly, it's very hard to talk about space news because a lot of it can be very like theoretical.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, what does that mean for stars? Like, is it possible if we ever get there as a society to like, oh shit, this star could cause issues for us? Let's get another star and just shove it in there. Right. The next thing is a European Space Agency wants to establish a time zone for the moon.
Ah.
Because I believe the U.S. and China are there's a bit of a race going on right now between them, where they want to. The U.S. NASA definitely wants to set up a station on the moon where they can launch rockets from the moon because it will require less fuel.
Yeah.
First off, because no gravity on the moon already. So they're trying to find a way to see if there's liquid in the moon. When they're already trying to do tests. I think they did. I think it was called Artemis launch. They already launched up a rocket already to test that out. to see if the pod they have will work to do that. Which I saw the launch. It was kind of cool. Not gonna lie, just be like, oh yeah, what's going on? You saw footage of it going past the moon or whatever. That's pretty fucking cool. Um, so they're just trying to run tests to see if they could end up finding stuff on the moon that could be used for general habitation uses, water, oxygen, and then starting like a little drilling operation on the moon to then get to a point where we can launch rockets from the moon into Mars or other planets and do space missions from there, which would be really cool. Um, and China is trying to do the same thing as far as I'm aware, but I don't know the details of China. I know more of the details of on NASA's end. So yeah, the European Space Agency is like, we need to come up with a time zone if we're gonna have people on the moon more consistently.
It's true.
Especially if they're gonna set up a moon base where people will live on. That makes a lot of sense. So the fact that we're getting there right now is interesting because as far as I'm aware, NASA said within the next either 15 or 30 years, they want to have shit on the moon. They want to have a moon base within the next 30 years. And I'm like, that's really exciting.
Maybe they'll call it Moonbase Alpha.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. Come here.
Lee.
John Madden.
You know.
Good times.
Good times indeed.
But I think that's just kind of cool to be like, oh shit, we're about to get extraterrestrial time zones. What if you have a buddy on the moon? It's like, hey, you want to play fucking like Call of Duty 57 or whatever? I don't know what COD will be on at that point. Yeah, what time, dude? What time works for you? How about like 3 p.m. moon time? How about 3 p.m. moon time? Okay, let me see what that is for mine. Yeah, I think I can make it. The lag would be crazy. Every game will be. I mean, the moon's far. Do you know how big the distance between Earth and the moon is?
We just start launching some satellites to over there.
I mean, you'd have to.
Like, I'm sure they could just get a satellite network. Like, I don't. Like,
I mean, yeah, but
know a whole lot about space, so don't come at us if like we're just saying stupid shit. But I feel like you could just do that. Like, I feel like satellite. You know,
I feel like you could, but there's still latency. Just like even now on a hardwired desktop, there is latency still.
I mean, true, but.
I mean, it's doable, but probably there would be a bit of lag.
By the time someone's living on the moon, I think we'll be okay.
I think it would be fine. By the time someone's living on the moon and being there for a prolonged amount of time,
we'll just
local moon servers. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Do you know how big the distance from the moon, from Earth to the moon is, dude? Do you not know? Because it's wild.
What is it off the top of your head?
You can fit every planet in our solar system between the Earth and the moon, including Pluto.
But what is that in
American? In American, the distance I don't remember, but like every planet we fucking have is big. The distance between is 238,000. 238,900 miles. That's big. Do we need that in Canadian? Sorry.
No, I'm getting that. Okay, that's a number I don't understand.
What do you?
This is why I just smoke weed and play games, people. I was like, I wanted to make the joke like, how many miles? How many? Is that in feet? Because that's how we measure Ethernet cables.
Yeah,
like how many feet Ethernet cables. But then the number it gave me is 1.25664 E plus 8. I can't say I know what that means.
For kilometers, that's 384,000 kilometers.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, maybe Best Buy's got a cable in stock,
No, they'll overcharge us for that shit.
They do overcharge.
Don't go to Best Buy to buy cables. Just order that shit on Amazon.
Where did I go get a cable recently? I don't know.
Target?
I don't know. I don't think it was Target. I actually think it was Best Buy, and I think it was $10 for a 50-foot. They've gone down. I remember. Okay, I was astounded. I was like, oh my god, because I remember them being so expensive at Best Buy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, certain Best Buys they still might be, but at least at the Best Buy by my house, it was pretty chill.
Nice. But yeah, that's it for the space news. Moon time zone, kind of cool. Moon game latency, probably not. We're gonna need local moon servers. Imagine we have maybe a few thousand people living on the moon, right? But they want to play video games. Not, but maybe they don't want to play Earth latency. Maybe that's like that's a bit too much. You want to just play it locally? Yeah, let's get a few of the buddies around to play on local moon
just imagine
servers.
you boot up WoW. It's like Oceanic, Europe, Moon.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay, you know how like in Battlefield
NASA
they'll
has a
say
guild.
oh, fuck. Shit, they must be a big fan of Eve. Or Elite Dangerous, but on like shooters, they'll say the server you're into, US West, US East.
Mm-hmm.
Just Moon, right there. Moon.
Moon East.
Moon West.
I mean, eventually, maybe there's enough
Moon,
areas on the
Moon
moon.
Dark Side.
Oh.
We're figuring it out now for you, NASA. NASA, if you want to toss me some cool facts about the moon, hit me up, dude.
Yeah, maybe eventually we'll just be on Earth.
What?
Like we're on North America servers. Like eventually, maybe it'll just say Earth.
Oh.
Maybe we're all connected.
Wow, that flew over my head real fucking fast, dude. Goddamn.
Look, I did just say maybe one day we'll all be on Earth. So I understand where there may be some confusion.
Bruh. I mean, the fact that at some point Earth latency from like US west to east won't be that much or non-existent, and at some point it's just Earth server.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we just have
Yeah.
Earth and Moon and Pluto and all the.
Oh,
Just
actually,
have different.
I have an
planet
interesting
time
just
zones.
science fact.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, the fastest thing in the world. You're doing something right now. You were in the middle of doing something. I saw that. The fastest thing is not the speed of light. Theoretically, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, and I'm concerned. Agreed. We've been at this for a while, but at this point, I don't even care if we don't have a main topic for this one.
I know we've just done so much.
Do you not? Do you want to have a main topic?
I mean, I think.
I'm down to just be like, to be
Yeah, we
done
should
soon.
We could just do TF2. It'd be quick as hell.
Okay, sure. Okay, so apparently the quickest thing is not the speed of light. It's probably having to do with quantum particles. I forget exactly how it works, but for the way I could explain it is you have two particles that are really connected to each other. But if you modify the state of one, the other one is modified. But if you separate them a large distance, if you modify the state of the particle, one of the particles, the other one is modified at the exact same time. No matter where it is in the galaxy, it will just change the state. So the theory is, could we pass information that way through just quantum tunneling? I think it might be the word.
That.
So it's just rapid information. The moment it's modified here, it's sent over here. And maybe at some point we might figure out how to do that. So it's like, oh, we no more latency, because as soon as that data is sent through one quantum particle, because it's tied to the other, Mars will fucking know what's up. And I think that's fucking cool. So if we ever get there, that'd be sick as fuck to just, yo, Josh from Mars. Martians be named Josh.
See, those are the kind of advancements I'm excited about. Because, I feel like in our lifetime, there's been some big advancements, but it's fun when we get
The
kind
Nintendo
of
Switch.
It's fun when we get the kind of things that are just we just don't need, we just blast something out of the water. It's we just don't, it's so obsolete now. It doesn't even make sense to have. All data transfer is now that.
Quantum.
Quantum. Yeah.
Tunneling. Yeah.
Versus Ethernet cables and routers and shit. We're just fuck it. Everything's just this now.
I feel like despite that, it might be too if we get to that point, it still might be a bit expensive. So what I can see it being is hubs. Essentially, think of a server, but probably at the beginning for important things. Then at some point, okay,
it always trickles down.
Yeah, this is much more easy to make.
Uses things first, and then it goes trickles down to the rich and then trickles down to everybody else.
But just imagine, like, hey, did you get your 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 quantum internet card in today? It's like, oh yeah, I just got it. It's working real well. Imagine that day.
Since we're just talking about space and science, you know what I'm never gonna do?
What's up?
I don't think I could ever use a teleporter.
Oh no, yeah, that would freak me out because of just the theory of like all
Is it
that.
really you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, like if you're, is it really you now? That like is it just basically cloning yourself every time you use a tele? They talked about that. Was a Star Trek that kind of
mm,
they kind of touch on that. Like I don't. Oh, I'm good. I'm
yeah.
so
Unless they
good.
confirm that it's the same energy somehow. I don't know how, but
Yeah,
if it's
I
the
don't know how you
same
do
everything,
that.
okay, maybe. But if it's just like, no, we're gonna destroy you and build you over there, but you'll still remember everything, I'm a bit more freaked out by that. I'm gonna be real. I'm a bit more freaked out by that one. Um, so I'm good. I'll go on a cryopod and
Not that
arrive at Earth in a few years.
yeah, I don't know that we're gonna see that in our lifetime. I'm sure
Probably
we won't.
not. Probably not.
but yeah, that's yeah, I'm good. Anyways, on to our. I think we're ready for our main topic, right?
I mean, I guess.
It's a quickie right now because we've taken up a lot of our time doing
A lot of
other
small
things.
things.
A lot of small things, but they were good things. I'm glad we touched on all of them. There were lots of fun news in the gaming realm right now. It's a
Yeah.
good time to be a gamer.
Oh, don't say that. We're a person that plays video games.
Yes.
It's a lot of
Um,
bad connotations when you call yourself a gamer. It's not great.
Remember, noob's a slur.
Oh, I will always remember that.
Context for people. I was at what was it? I don't even remember. It's GameStop. I think it's either GameStop or Hot Topic. And
I
me and my
feel like it might
fiance
have been a GameStop.
were going through, and we just overheard this guy talk to this other guy, and he said noob was a slur.
Insane. No. No.
No. TF2, Team Fortress 2.
I was hoping we were going to talk about Titanfall. No, I know what you meant originally, but I like I like Titanfall more than Team Fortress.
Titanfall 2.
Okay, hold on.
It's a game about mechs.
I mean, what? Which one are we talking about, buddy? Because if we talk about Titanfall, the subreddit's schizophrenic right now.
Why is it schizophrenic?
I mean, I don't know if it still is. I haven't really paid attention, but last year or a year before, 2020 or 2022, or one of the years, they were posting about like if Titanfall 3 came out and be like, oh yeah, I love this new mech, and they started just something's up with those players over there, and they just want Titanfall. So do I, but there's something going on over there.
They have Titanfall. It's called Apex. What's the new Apex game mode? They have team deathmatch now. They're good. They're
No,
sated. It's fine.
no, they're not. They want
There's
their
a mech. It's called Bastion. No, it's not. What's
That's Overwatch.
No, I know.
You
What's
fucker.
what's the guy? Pathfinder.
Oh. I mean, if we're gonna talk about Team Fortress 2, I bought the orange box. TF2 went free a bit after.
Hey, you got a hat.
Did I?
Yeah, we all got a. If you bought TF2 before it came out, you get like a hat or something.
I don't even fucking. Then I might have got. Okay, hold on. I gotta check my fucking Steam inventory now. I gotta check my Team Fortress 2 inventory.
Oh my god, my TF2 inventory. Yeah, what do we got in there?
I don't even know what the fuck the hat's
How
called.
do,
If
how do
anything,
I even get to the inventory collection?
under your username, it's inventory on Steam.
I see.
If you have the hat, then I probably don't.
Team Fortress 2. I've got 29 items. Hell yeah.
I have apparently 103.
Jesus.
Apparently, I don't believe that. What the fuck? How do I have 103?
Oh, I think
items?
it's the grizzled veteran.
I do not have that. Okay, then no. Hold on. I gotta check my fucking. When the hell did I get TF2?
I've got the sharpened volcano fragment. I wonder if these are, if anything here is like rare nowadays. Such OG. So yeah, TF2 came out October 10th, 2007. Fantastic game when it came out. We never played. I don't know. I never played the original Team Fortress. I'm not sure about yourself,
No, I thought about trying it out, but never really did.
but I've got some crates. Oh hey, this crate starts. This crate sells for $2.
Wow,
Make
who's gonna buy
myself
it?
some money. 99 have been sold in the last 24 hours.
Okay, never mind.
So apparently, plenty.
Fuck me, I guess.
um, I've got the ghastly gibbous and the ghastlier gibbous.
I have one of those.
I love all these. 2009, 2010. If only I could sell those. I bet those are worth some. Got a
Yeah,
mailbox. I know
but
this is
like,
exciting content. Just watching us look through our inventories.
I stopped looking at my inventory. If we're gonna talk about Team Fortress 2, I feel like I have a bit more of a history with it. I feel like with a lot of games I do, because you stopped
Well,
playing it at some point, but
I mean,
you
eventually.
played at the beginning.
I played the first couple years.
He had all the base like game items. You have
You
all the
what?
base game items. You had all the base game items, didn't you?
Yes, because I went on when they finally added achievements to get new weapons. Because that was how it first worked. If you didn't know, you didn't. You just played TF2 and you just had the normal weapons, and then eventually they were like, let's add new weapons that you can earn. And they can give you different damage and whatever, not nothing. It wasn't trying to be straight upgrades. It was just trying to be like horizontal upgrades, like different playstyle weapons to switch it up. They added it through achievements, which was really cool. Because it was just early. It was 2007. You didn't have a whole lot of games were just not. There weren't as many there wasn't battle passes. There wasn't whatever. So you just earned these things through achievements, and you had to think I get I think you got like 3 achievements. You unlocked the first item for that character, and then it was like, actually, it might have even been more. It might have, but you did like 4 achievements to unlock the first item, and you did like 6 achievements to unlock the 7 item, and the second item, and then you did more achievements and you unlocked the third item, and everybody had 3 items. And I remember just going and there was achievement maps. You remember those? Did you play those?
Uh, I think once I think once our mutual friend was like, "Hey, how about you try an achievement map with me?" I was like, "Okay." I think I got like 3 achievements, and then I never
Yeah,
did
I
it
mean
again.
they were kind of fun. I mean it was kind of fun to just hop on and like everybody was just trying to grind out the achievements, and these map makers were making perfect things to do all the achievements. It was a really communal time. It felt fun to be a part of that community, and I went and got all of the different achievements to get all the different weapons and all the upgraded, like the syringe crossbow for the medic and the fists and the sandwich or the chocolate bar I think you got. Yeah, it was all sorts of things. It was really fun. Uh,
My history is different because of playing practically when it went free to play. Uh, this was back when I first got into PC gaming, so I was dog water at any shooter. um, so I feel like TF2 probably was my first multiplayer shooter that I really spent a lot of time on. But like even just the player versus player aspect, I was like, I don't know what anyone else is doing. I don't know what's going on. All the weapons are so like different and unique with different playstyles. I'm like, I am so confused and lost. Because starting off new, you have all the base things. Everyone else has other shit they've unlocked
oh, that's
throughout
true.
the
At
years.
that point in that game, yeah.
So it's like, oh boy, what am I getting myself into? And so I will see someone with like an energized rifle from the engineer or the rocket for the soldier. It's like, I want that shit. How do I get that shit? So I'd look up how to do it, and
I
I
have
was
that
like,
one.
I think I got the engineer one. I think I have both now. I don't,
The
back to our
Cow
Steam
Mangler
inventories we go.
5000.
Hold
Uh,
on. Yeah, the Cow Mangler 5000. I like that one because it didn't require ammo. It was just you shot.
oh yeah.
Uh, that's really the only reason why I wanted them. Hey, they don't require ammo. I don't care if they suck. I just didn't want to have to fucking reload my gun.
What
But
was your
most of
favorite
my
character?
time,
Oh, sorry. Go on.
if I have to say, is a tie between three of them.
Okay.
The engineer, because I can be lazy. The heavy, because it's just like being the big guy with the big gun. And the spy, because of all the dumb shit you can do as a spy.
Mine is very similar. If I picked three, it would be the engineer, the spy, and the medic.
Medic's fun.
Medic's great. Demo Man was also really fun.
I never liked them. I hate
I like.
it. Just it's the same reason why I don't like Junkrat. I hate being like, I know the angle to shoot at. I'll just shoot there constantly. Annoys the living shit out of me. Oh, but the engineer gun was the Thompson 6000. That's the only reason. Like no ammo. I like that one.
mm,
Most of my time with TF2 was when Man versus Machine came out. So I didn't have to do player versus player shit. I can just do PVE stuff with a group of friends, and I really like that because
that was fun.
it's just wave defense, and it reminded me of Dungeon Defenders, but like TF2. I was like, I really like TF2, and it was just kind of cool. My favorite fucking item is I forget what it's called. Oh yeah, it's called the Wrangler. I just found it, where you actually take control of the sentry gun and you get to point it around. I like that because now I can point at a motherfucker and shoot at him manually with the sentry. Uh, it just reduces damage and repairs by a bit. So I'm like, okay, it's a nice trade off. But like, I spent so much time in Man vs. Machine. I'd be like, hey, you want to play TF2 Man vs. Machine? And my friends are like, oh, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Um, had a just a blast with that. Probably like maybe 2 years after that update came out, I just stopped playing. The game still. If I feel like if I had to go back into it now, I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna have a lot of fun.
They're
But
getting a
it's
brand new
like
update
that's true. I do know
with
about
new
that one.
maps and new weapons and new. They're actually getting a content upgrade
It's
update.
it's
Just
been
very
years.
yeah. Also, apparently there is a hat. It's called the Proof of Purchase. I found it,
Oh, okay. Let me check if I have
and
that
it
then.
looks like one of those like world. It's like a British World War II hat.
Oh yeah, I have that. Okay, yeah, I have it,
Nice.
bruh. So yeah, I did get TF2. Then it went free. Oh yeah, I think I remember it was middle school. I remember talking to a mutual friend at the time, being like, "Yeah, I got TF2," and then it just went free to play a few months afterwards. Like, dude, he's like,
That
"Dude, that sucks." Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
Looking at you, APB.
but yeah, the only issues with TF2 right now was a few years ago there was a huge bot problem with TF2, so people were like, "Valve, do something about this," and Valve just didn't do shit until they got a big trending thing on Twitter, and Valve was like, "We heard you. We're working on something." The bot problem is a little bit less. Um, Apparently, what happens now is that in peak times you might get a bot or so, like maybe one or two bots, but people just vote kick them once they find out they're bots. So that's
hmm
good that not as many bots are around because I've been tempted to actually reinstall TF2 and play it again, just to see how it's been after. What will Steam tell me?
Last played.
Oh, okay, not that long ago. Interesting. What did I do? Oh, I remember. Last played for me was April 3rd, 2021.
Last played for me was June 24th, 2015.
God damn, that was before Trump. Holy fuck.
It's been a bit.
I don't even remember those times, dude.
It has been a while.
But yeah, I remember playing it. Yeah, when I was playing it is when it was a huge bot problem. I got into a match full of fucking bots. So I was like, I'll just get off and uninstall. So I'll probably you might see me stream that shit when that update drops. That'd be fun to
I would
fuck
play
around
it.
in.
How many achievements do you have?
Uh, where is that? Ooh, actually, that's not. I mean, it's only 25%, but I feel like that's not bad. 130 out of
Oh,
520.
nice. I was like, did my maps do me justice? I did. I have 244, so I'm at 46%.
Nice.
It was all those
Most
maps.
most kills 15 as heavy. Most points 32 as scout. I also like the scout, but engineer, spy, and heavy
Scout's
are
fun.
like my favorites.
No, they're all pretty good. Like Pyro's hella fun.
How many hours?
Sniper's fun. Hours?
I have way less than you. I feel like.
74.
Oh wow, surprisingly. Uh,
Did I?
Hold on.
st- I remember a time before Steam tracked hours. I just don't
Yeah,
know
are
if
you?
that
Yeah,
time
yeah,
is before TF2 or not.
probably,
Um,
probably, because I remember that still being pretty new when I joined Steam. Um, so you have 70 something hours.
2009. So yeah, I played probably a majority without tracking hours.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit over you right now, as from what Steam says,
Yeah.
but you're way past me. I have 111 hours.
Yeah, I probably am past that with the hours it didn't count.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to give TF2 a shot once that summer update drops. Uh,
Agreed.
they did change the wording for the update thing though. They said an update size update, but then it was reworded to a season sized update. So we don't know
Hmm.
what that means. So just be aware that it may not be as big as what they initially said. But here's hoping that it fixes a lot of things and also is just kind of good. I'm just kind of happy. This is a Valve centric episode now. That Valve is kind of making games again.
Yeah.
Um, with Alex and then updating TF2. They still work on Dota and on CS:GO as far as I'm aware. So that's just kind of nice to see them, especially with when Alex came out, be like, we want to do more stuff in the Half-Life world. That's just exciting to hear to begin with.
Yeah, and they've said that they are trying to work on more Half-Life products. I will say, I think it is high time for TF3. I
Yeah,
just can't see. Or I can, but knowing Valve and knowing their pedigree and knowing how good they like to put in, they do generally put out good stuff. Um, I can see that I like we have there's a huge market. They created the market basically. And there is a huge market for games like Valorant and Overwatch, and I think TF3 could certainly I would play the fuck out of a TF3. Release it just like it was with the payload and capture the briefcase and all the other fun game modes and have the same cast and hopefully more. Um, and yeah, I think you could really, I think they could do great things, or even a whole new cast would be really cool, actually. Um, but yeah, I think a TF3 is. I think we're high time for a lot of threes, Valve. But
you fucking hearing us, Valve? We know where you are. Hold on, no, don't. That's a joke, Valve. I love you as a company. You make a great platform. Don't ban me. I'd love that. Um, yeah, I feel me. I don't know. I feel like if they were to do a Portal, it'd be a different character entirely, not Shell anymore, because I feel like her story's over with. Considering the ending of Portal 2, no spoilers here. Uh,
no, I agree. I think yeah, you could easily just have like the game could just start with you're just walking, you're just taking a stroll through your normal life, and you just like see an alley, and you walk down the alley, and you accidentally fall into a thing that takes you into an aperture lab that was long forgotten or so. There could be many ways you could
bullshit,
introduce.
fucking Portal lore, because that's exactly how it went with Portal, with all the weird
Yeah, I
lore
mean,
they have.
yeah, Portal is so open ended still. There's so many things you could just be like, yeah, here's another facility that we've just never talked about, and
Yeah, Cave
here's
Johnson
this.
forgot.
Also, easily could do a prequel. Could easily do some like, hey, this is actually set at the height of aperture science, labs. You could, maybe you're playing right alongside Cave Johnson. You could do some really fun stuff with that. Here's the thing. I imagine here's how it'd go in my mind. How it would be perfect. I want the next Half-Life game because they were it was all culminating in seemingly it seemed like they were gonna link. I mean, we already obviously know that Half-Life and Portal are in the same world.
Yeah,
Um, but it's just like we could easily see like we were gonna go to the what is it, the Borealis, the ship, like that ship
yeah.
from like we knew it was in Portal, and then like it was teased in Half-Life. Like there's so many good connections. We could easily like could imagine just like we're playing Half-Life 3 and then you get to a part where you actually have to go to an aperture science lab or something, and then suddenly it's low-key Portal 3. Like that
Or
would
they
be
could,
amazing.
like, I think what could be really good too is you do a thing It's not like choose your own, like, oh, you decide to do this or decide to don't do this, but you do a thing that leads you into the Aperture facility. It happens, and then, like, you're playing as Gordon Freeman, the silent protagonist, and you're done there, and you go back to where you were what you were doing over with the Combine or whatever. But then Portal 3, you're playing Portal 3. Something happens in the facility as you're playing it. Turns out that was fucking Gordon Freeman doing his shit, and you had no clue as the test subject for Portal 3. And you're like, what the fuck was that? And you find out at the end, they're fucking linked. Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 were just linked because an event happened in one game and it also happened in the other. That'd be a really good way for Valve to fucking do this. Valve, hire us.
Now I want to go play Portal.
Portal's a fucking good game.
Yeah,
The ones
Portal,
holds up.
Half-Life. Oh, it's all good. Valve, please
Every
make more
fucking
games.
Valve game holds up.
Left 4 Dead 3, give it to us.
Good thing you actually. Glad you brought up Left 4 Dead, because there's a video I'm gonna send it to you. I want you to watch it.
Okay.
Because it's a really good video by someone on YouTube called Crowbcat or Crowbcat, however the heck you want to pronounce that, talking about the difference between Back for Blood and then Left 4 Dead. Talking about how Valve and the way they do things carried Left 4 Dead. And Back 4 Blood doesn't hold a candle for Left 4 Dead. While Back 4 Blood is good, honestly, I agree. After seeing both games, I don't go back to play Back 4 Blood. I ended up going back to playing Left 4 Dead because of everything, all the modding, all the cool shit you could do there. And it's like, yeah, some campaigns might be annoying, but I'm having a fucking blast still. With Back 4 Blood, I was more annoyed when some shit happened in that game. Like, if I died in Left 4 Dead, it's like, I did not care. If I died in Back 4 Blood, I cared a bit. And I was like, fuck this shit. Shouldn't have
There's
happened.
a certain just Valve charm.
It's like we mentioned it with Bethesda. There's a
Yeah,
charm
there's
to it.
certain things that just, and like, it is certain things. And, you know, Back 4 Blood was very much trying to be a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. So naturally, it's going to draw every comparison.
I'm going to send you the video so you can look at that.
Thank you.
But the video title is Back 4 Blood Proves Valve Carried Left 4 Dead by Crowbcat or Crow.
If you'd like to watch it yourself.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. It was like, oh fuck yeah, because it just talks about Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood and just comparing the two. A game that came out years ago is much better than a game that came out literally last year, 2 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, I fucking want more stuff from Valve. This is the Valve centric episode now. We thought it was TF2.
Give us the Valve. Well, thank you, any and all, for watching or listening or however you are consuming our content, wherever
Brain
it might
juice.
be. Hopefully, I'm going to look into getting it onto other platforms. I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to look into it because I want to do that. And
Syringe needles?
We will see.
Inject
yes,
it?
if you're injecting us straight into your memory, maybe one day.
Oh fuck.
Inject a podcast. Be like, oh, yep, listen to that.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good podcast.
The 10 seconds it takes to eject a podcast. Yeah, you watched
does each
it.
episode be a different syringe, or can we just
Yes.
do the whole thing at once?
No, I mean, at that point, you're asking for like AI generated fucking podcast. I feel like.
Thank you, any and all, for watching. We very much appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I know we're having a good time
We are.
recording it.
We are.
If you'd like to find me, you can find me on my channel at A Guy Who Smokes Weed, or on Twitch at A Guy Who Smokes Weed, or on Twitter at AGWS Weed.
Yes.
Because A Guy Who Smokes Weed, I believe, was taken.
I'm not
Damn
surprised.
you. If you'd like to see more of my best friend and buddy here, Sunshine Mexico.
Yeah, you can find me on twitter.com, sunshine_Mexico, that motherfucker, twitch.tv/Sunshine Mexico, and youtube.com/Sunshine Mexico. I think they have that. I don't know if it's unique URLs anymore. They used to have just the URL be the person's name, but now it's like unique random letters. Who knows? But yeah, Sunshine Mexico on every platform. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. This shit's
thank you.
fun.